Welcome back to Capitol Tide. I'm Tim Boyne. We're now more than halfway through the first year in office for North Carolina's new Council of State members. There have been plenty of achievements in the first few months, but there's also some plans to be made for the future. Joining us for more is one of those new members of the Council, State Labor Commissioner Luke Farley. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Tim, great to be with you.
It's hard to believe. The last time I talked, I think, was earlier in the year. It's time has flown by.
It really has. When you've got a lot you want to accomplish, and the same 24 hours in a day like everybody else, time flies.
Yeah. For people that don't pay attention super closely to what each office is, remind everybody what your main focus is as Labor Commissioner.
So, to probably 99% of North Carolinians, the Labor Commissioner is the elevator guy. That's the job with your picture in the elevator. My great predecessor, Cherie Berry, everybody remembers her as the elevator lady. So that's what most people know about the Labor Commissioner. But the most important job of the Commissioner is to look after the working men and women of this state. So there are 4.5 million working men and women in North Carolina, and it's the Labor Commissioner's job to make sure they work in safe conditions, that they're paid the wages they owed, and that they're not discriminated against. And that's the main job.
And so what has been your main focus here this first half of your first year term?
So we've been focused on a couple of different things. First, we have had a persistently high vacancy rate among our workplace safety inspectors. This is the only job in state government where you measure the success or failure in lives lost and limbs lost. And so it's a sacred responsibility to make sure the workers of North Carolina go home just the way they came. But it's hard for us to do that job unless we're fully staffed. When I took office, our vacancy rate was about 25%, and I said, that's too high. There are inspections that aren't getting done, that need to be done, and we just can't do our job effectively. So we've been intensely focused on filling those vacancies, and the first thing we've done is to raise pay, but with no additional cost to the taxpayer. So through a strategic reallocation of resources in the department, we've been able to raise pay for both new folks coming to the department and our veteran inspectors. And we think this is crucial to keeping the talent we've got, but also attracting new people. So that's what we set to work on right away. We've also been working on our plan to make elevators great again. You might remember that as my campaign slogan, but it was more than just a slogan. It was a promise to return safety and accountability to our elevators. Now, one thing that a lot of people may be familiar with is, we inspect the elevators annually, but every year or two you see a story come out about the elevators not being inspected every year. When I took office, I said, we're not going to do that anymore. That's unacceptable. I want to fix this problem. So we have put our nose to the grindstone to make sure that we are getting to every single elevator every year on time without additional cost to the taxpayer. And we are very close to being caught up on the backlog that was there when I took office. So those are the things that have been taking up a lot of our time.
Is some of that, again, the inspector's issue, the staffing?
It is a staffing issue, yeah. These are our tough jobs, and sometimes the pay is just not competitive with the private sector. So we've been focused on our people, because if we take care of the people in the department, they will take care of the citizens of North Carolina.
Safety in the workplace is, as you mentioned, one of the top priorities and top positions. How would you sort of, from your first time in office here, looking at it, judge the safety of the workplace in North Carolina, broadly speaking? Or if there's areas of concern that you want to look at?
Yeah, so on average, we are safer than most states to work in. And so we have a good safety record in North Carolina. In fact, the federal government just reviewed our safety program, the U.S. Department of Labor, and found us to be among the top states for workplace safety. So we're doing good, but there is always room to get better. And we are always focused on those areas where there needs to be improvement. So some of those areas, for instance, we need to get down the rate of people who are hit by equipment when they're on the job site. We call those struck by accidents. Same thing about people falling from a height. We need to be sure people are wearing their harnesses and so that they're safe when they're working at heights. And we're always focused on, we're doing good, where can we do better?
And you have your own investigators that do that too. How's the staffing for those types of positions?
We do. Again, those vacancy rates are coming down since I took office because we are intensely focused on filling those vacancies, making sure that for these crucially important jobs, we are investing in the people at the department so they can keep the workers in North Carolina safe and healthy.
North Carolina was just ranked by CNBC 2 out of 3 years. Just missed it last year as one of the best states to do business. How does all this fit into that, do you think?
Well, first of all, there are a lot of things that contribute to being the best state to do business. But the most important thing are the people in North Carolina, the workers of North Carolina, whether they're blue collar, white collar, it doesn't matter. We have the best workforce in the nation, and that makes us an attractive place to do business. And as Labor Commissioner, it's my job to look after that workforce, right? To be sure that our workers are working in safe conditions, that they're paid what their employer promised them, that they're not discriminated against, that we don't have children working in unsafe conditions, or that we're violating child labor laws. All of those things are what protect the workforce, and that's what makes us the #1 state for business, and that's my responsibility to look after those workers.
Good to see you.
Absolutely, Tim.
Look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. As always, if it's on Jones Street or Main Street, you'll find it right here in Capitol tonight. Stay safe, look after each other. We'll see you back here